Oh hey, I can see you there. I'm Curtis Dipple. This is my reflection for Fringe.
Oh wow. So, Curtis, where did it all start?
So me and Jordan and I had an idea. Um, Basically, we wanted to we were kind of joking about an idea of making our Fringe piece just us sat up there playing video games
Oh,
as a kind of like a joke. Thank you. Oh, as like a joke kind of. But then we were like, but what if we actually did that and kind of satirized the YouTube gaming community.
interesting.
I'm not sure whose idea it was, but it was one of ours. Basically, that's kind of where the inspiration came from.
Okay.
I'd say.
So you've already kind of explained the next question,
Well,
which was what were your ideas and your intentions?
not really. I can say
What
what.
was your intention in
So our
doing that?
intention was kind of to make people aware of the less good side of YouTube. Like I think a lot of people see the good side, which is kind of you get informative videos, you get entertainment. Obviously, there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube, but then there's a lot of stuff that's probably harming children that their parents aren't even kind of realizing. And
Hmm.
I just wanted to kind of take a look at that basically.
So, what research did you use, and uh, did you read any like books or anything on this?
Well, books are hard to find for something like this because it's a modern concept kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like there are YouTube books, but they kind of get outdated very quickly because of like it's an internet thing.
Yeah.
So mostly I stuck to looking at YouTubers who are kind of the annoying type of YouTubers like PewDiePie, Toby Turner. What are you laughing at Toby Turner? Because of that thing that happened.
Yeah, that thing that happened.
Dan TDM,
Yeah.
Sky does Minecraft. Kind of like these annoying YouTubers that just kind of um,
Panda. So
kind of yeah, panda basically. They're not being themselves on YouTube. They're playing characters. Nothing wrong with that, but to me that's just annoying. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure, and also the like people like PewDiePie specifically, I feel is a bad influence on. That's my opinion. He's a bad influence on children. I feel sometimes he's good. Sometimes, but
Yeah.
I think because it's not kind of on TV, you have like filters, right? People are allowed to say certain things. There's people who overlook that. That's their jobs
Yeah.
to overlook that.
But
On
there's no one
YouTube,
for that.
you can say whatever you want. It might get taken down afterwards, but you can say whatever you want for however long it stays up for. Like that Logan Paul video where he filmed the dead guy. That was up for about a day, I think.
Which is weird because Logan Paul has a big team behind him who actually goes through.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like he went through, he uploaded that video. He claimed afterwards. He said nothing was. He said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't realize what I was doing." But he sat there. He edited the video, or someone edited the video. He uploaded video. He filmed the video. Like he at some point he must have realized what he was doing. Anyway, this is off topic, kind of.
Right. So, what
My
artists,
influence.
designers, practitioners did you gain inspiration from?
So we went to see a piece called Chloe Kardashian at
Mhm.
Sheena Simon. Was it
Sheena Simon.
Sheena
Yeah.
Simon? Which was a major influence on the piece because we wanted to do it where we were the YouTubers creating the noise and the distraction to the facts, which would be presented on little TVs on the side,
Yeah.
giving statistics such as I think it's over 50. I'm not sure. Between 60 and 70% of kids want to be YouTubers when they grow up. Just kind of showing the influence that YouTube has. Um, to kind of maybe the parents of the kids or even the kids themselves if they're old enough, and just kind of we looked at that idea of us being of the YouTubers being the distraction and us giving out the facts and our opinions on the site, but so yeah, what's that? But no, Khloe Kardashian was a major influence.
I think it would have been like a pretty hilarious kind of thing because I thought that Khloe Kardashian was pretty funny.
I don't think it's meant to be funny.
No, it was funny, like abstract funniness, like just yeah.
But I can see what you mean. Like, it was funny because of the over-the-top stuff that was occurring. I can see what
because it's like, like you're put in an uncomfortable position, therefore you must laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like awkward. Yeah.
Right. So research. How effective was the research in terms of depth, relevance, and variety?
So, because this is the first part of this where I didn't actually finish this performance, like I never got it off the ground, kind of. So the research wasn't. The research was very relevant. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. It's just got the giggles.
Okay. The research was very relevant, I felt.
Yeah.
The depth of it obviously would have been improved. You okay? You want to take a minute? The depth would have been improved a lot if I had spent more time with the project, and same with the variety. Like, I feel like with the variety, I had the YouTubers I looked at, and I had the Khloe Kardashian performance. So, overall, this is a hard question to answer, as I hadn't finished the piece. Michael is dying behind the camera. Michael,
describe the part of your research that became more relevant and explain why.
Oh, okay. That's too cool. So, probably the Khloe Kardashian one, just because that had a major impact on how we wanted to stage things, on how we wanted to perform things. I think that had we not seen Khloe Kardashian, we wouldn't have had the idea. I don't think, possibly.
You wasn't, you know, when you went to Khloe Kardashian, you wasn't intended to go there first place, was you?
It was a level 3 year 2 thing, but then some people dropped out.
Yeah. So it was like he sought after it. It wasn't given to him.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's go down. So development. Okay, so wait, you skip development.
No.
Oh, I'm blind.
Negotiation and project management. How did your tutors and peers provide influence to your early ideas?
So we got a lot of YouTubers to look at. Given to us, as far as staging and stuff, that was mostly us coming up with it without much feedback being given. Yeah, we just didn't do that many callbacks really at this point because this was early in the spectrum of the performance.
Right, did your planning cover all eventualities?
Like I said, we didn't get that far in at this point, so it's hard to say. I think, had we have gone through with it, probably, because I'm pretty good at planning for stuff, I'd say, and Jordan is pretty good at planning for stuff. So.
Right, so did you manage to complete your project's objectives? If you did, could you have gone further with the idea or concept? If you didn't, what went wrong?
This kind of ties in with the next one.
Yeah.
How did... just read the next one.
How did your ideas change? What influenced you to change the ideas?
Did I manage to reach my project objective? Well, it didn't get done, so no, I'd say. What went wrong? What went wrong was a change. Scenery.
Okay.
Doctor Who. Jacob's piece. I joined Jacob's piece.
Why did you?
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Basically, I just realised I've been saying names this whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, me and person B, I felt were very committed to the project. Well, I felt like I was very committed to the project. Person B was as committed as he could be, or they could be. Person C was not committed at all and was distracting person B. Person D was also not committed at all, and the same thing. So I felt because of this distraction occurring, and because of the lack of commitment from half of the group, I just felt like there was no point in me trying my hardest at this and then failing because of the rest of my group. Because that's what happened last year when I did Bonnie and Clyde Famous Failures performance. I famously failed. And I learned, pick your groups wisely. As much as I trust person B, person C and D were just distracting, and I could see, like, there was a day when I was in college, and I could just see everything happen before my eyes. Like, I was like, oh, this is not going to end well. I'm going to go join someone else's. I said, and I went to Laurie May, and I said, I'd like to join someone else's piece. And then I looked at people's pieces. Some were doing dance, which I'm not really interested in. There was some people who were doing acting pieces, which were the ones I looked at. I ended up joining Jacobs because he was doing Doctor Who, which is a series I enjoy a lot. It's one of my favourite TV shows. So that would have been great. So that was a great reason to join. Jacob, I trust a lot in his directing abilities, so I felt like he had already had a strong base settled for me to come and help build. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Alright, so
let's go back to
the beginning.
Marty, we gotta go back.
Where did it start?
Back to the future.
Well, you've already explained how it started. Basically.
So yeah, that's how it started.
So with the Doctor Who, what was your ideas and intentions for like?
So basically, the ideas that Jacob had had when I joined was I was gonna play the Master, Damien was gonna play. Oh, saying names again. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Damien playing the companion, and Connor Thompson was playing the original Doctor before he regenerated, and then we would all also help out. I was gonna be helping with directing scenes. Jacob was also gonna be doing that, and then Connor Thompson was kind of gonna be doing production a lot of the time, because he's very good and we needed a TARDIS. And ideas were basically my idea. I'm not sure about kind of the group's original intent, but when I came in, I wanted to make something that could have been considered as good as the TV show. Basically, that's what I wanted to do.
Right. So, what research did you do?
So, obviously, looked at the TV show. That's the main influence, obviously, and then also Shakespeare's. A lot of his plays obviously influence future media, especially the Master in Doctor Who. You can see that in a lot of Shakespeare's plays, especially Othello.
Yeah.
I've looked at some characters in that kind of influence. You can see their influence on Doctor Who. And then kind of just other kind of manic bad guys like the Joker, specifically in the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, that's kind of my base research.
Right, so what artists, designers, practitioners did you gain inspiration from?
Artists, so Russell T Davies, and Stephen Moffat. They're the two showrunners for the new series of Doctor Who. They were a major influence. Like, I looked at interviews with them talking about writing for the Master. The Master in their two series are different because in the first one he's played by John Sims, who is a man, and then in the second one they're played by a female, and the Master is referred to as Missy. But the characters are so similar, so I was able to look at both of them as inspiration. Kind of Sherlock on BBC. His character is not a bad guy, but he operates similar to how like a sociopath
I
would.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a computer.
Yeah.
A computer mind. Yeah.
That's
Right. So.
why I drew inspiration from them is kind of they all have similar in like the writers of the show, Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies. They know the characters better than anyone, obviously, besides probably the actors around the same as the actors. Looking at the actors, they obviously know the characters very well, and then other ones like Heath Ledger's Joker and Sherlock, they're similar characters. So I feel like I could gain influence from them to improve the character and kind of build on what I already know about him.
Right. So research. How effective was your research in terms of depth, relevance, and variety?
So depth, I feel like I got pretty deep in my research. I knew, I knew, I knew kind of a lot about the master already, but I got in kind of a wormhole of reading about what people think of his personality on kind of blogs and stuff, and then also what kind of the official writers have said about him. So I got pretty like deep into researching about the master,
Yeah.
children, and then relevance. I think my research was very relevant because basically, for once, I didn't really have to be the main guy who's directing everything, which usually I feel like that's what I do. So I could focus directly just on my character, and so I think that was very relevant because I only had to focus on one thing pretty much. Variety, I think it was pretty varietical. Is that a word? I think there was a lot of variety to it in terms of me looking at different characters from different types of media with similar personalities and character traits to the master. I also looked at some books that have the master in it, Doctor Who books, because that's just a different perspective on the character that you wouldn't necessarily see on the television show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, describe the part of your research that became most relevant and explain why, please.
So I think that the most relevant part of my research for me was um, probably looking at the different versions of the master and comparing them to the doctors they were against, and kind of seeing how they evolve, because the master evolves differently to the doctors. The doctor evolves and his personality changes completely. Like with the Ninth Doctor, he was very serious and brooding, but he also had a little comical side to him, like a little cheeky side, And then to the 10th, he was much more fun-loving, but he was also similar to the Ninth in that he had the darkness, but he kept it hid inside him because he just didn't want to talk about it, which is, I think, very relatable to humanity. We tend to hide stuff deep down inside us. And then with the 11th Doctor, he lets that go, kind of, and he becomes a much genuinely happier person. Not a less complex character, mind you, but just he's let go of his problems. And then with Peter Capaldi's the 12th Doctor, he's back to kind of being brooding, and so there's a lot of change within the Doctors. But with the Master, he has this kind of just intent to annoy the Doctor, no matter what. Like, that's his main character trait. Piss off the Doctor, pretty much. Like, that's the recurring one throughout. And his personality doesn't tend to change that much throughout. Like I said, the male Doctor and the female Doctor... the male Master and the female Master, the only difference between them is the body they're in, kind of, to me. So I wanted to kind of change it by kind of he's not trying to annoy the Doctor in this in our version. To me, he's trying to he's still trying to kill the human race,
Hmm.
but he's not trying to annoy the Doctor. He's got his own problems that he deals with, and that kind of so kind of just comparing all the masters is the most relevant to me. Kind of went off on a tangent there.
Right, negotiation and project management. How did your tutors and peers provide influences to your early ideas?
So I had a lot of help from Michael Swales,
Hello.
who's behind the camera, in terms of my peer feedback, because he would because he would be in lessons a lot, that our lessons, just be sat in them or whatever, and he would give advice to me on how he would think the master would say such things and stuff like that, which I genuinely appreciate because he's a great character writer. So it was great to have him on board. He's giving me the thumbs up. Peer feedback. Tutor feedback.
Well, when the times you've shown back.
The times I've shown back, Laurie May was probably the main person there to give feedback. So she kind of just made us think about the production side of things. I would say she would ask us. She would ask us, "Have you thought about lighting for this scene? Have you thought about not staging, but move stage transitions?"
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of scenes where we would be in the TARDIS, out of the TARDIS, in the TARDIS, out of the TARDIS. So that was the feedback. So I felt like we got a lot of feedback, and it was helpful.
Did your planning cover all eventualities?
No. And this, I could kind of blame this on me joining the group late if I wanted to, but also at the same time, it's kind of just us being lazy.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in the performance, well, also not really us being lazy, but just kind of us having a limited amount of time. Like one issue we had was I couldn't, like, the curtain got stuck because it's like a hard to work curtain. If we had more rehearsal time, we could have figured out how to fix the curtain, but that's just us not using our time wisely, I guess, kind of. And then also a bit of the TARDIS fell off, kind of during this performance, but we improvised around it. So our planning was basically improvising, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like for a piece like this, it works because it's kind of
quirky.
Has comedic undertones, quirky.
So, did you manage to complete the project's objectives? If you did, could you have gone further with the idea or concept? If you didn't, what went wrong?
So, as far as my objective, as I said, I wanted to make something that could be considered as good as a Doctor Who episode, which to me isn't that difficult to do because there's some bad Doctor Who episodes out there.
True.
I feel like I feel like if I had joined the group from the beginning, we would have done it as a scripted piece. Hold on, sorry. Let me answer the question first. I don't think I reached my objective, but I think I was close to my objective. And I think had I joined the group earlier, I would have made it a scripted piece, and Jacob would have as well, he said. And I would have just kind of wrote out the lines for people, really thought about them, kind of, like an episode of Doctor Who is, because that's the main difference between that performance and our performance and Doctor Who is ours wasn't scripted. Theirs is, obviously. So no, but it was pretty close to what I wanted, and in the time I joined it, I can't be that mad about how it came out.
So, how did your ideas change? Over the course of
I'll say, the ideas for the performance changed once I joined the group because roles changed. I became the master. Damien used to be the master. He switched to the companion. Connor Thompson used to be the companion. He switched to the doctor. So we added in this new plot of the doctor regenerating.
Yeah.
I think that was added when I first joined. I'm pretty sure. So that was one thing that changed. Another concept that kind of changed along the way was kind of the master's personality. When Damien was doing it, I'd seen Damien do it. He was very aggressive and like constantly aggressive.
There wasn't any nuance or
Yeah,
like,
which I understand why you
subtlety.
might want to do that for his own role. Makes sense, aggressive. I just wanted to do it kind of calm 1 second, split second later, aggressive, calm again. It's just more interesting to me as an actor to do that. So that was the influence for that change.
So how do you think you worked as a team throughout?
So I feel like we worked pretty well together because I feel like our skill sets benefited the project. Like we had Connor Thompson, who is great on production,
Mhm.
and he made the TARDIS and it looked beautiful. And then we had me and Jacob, who are pretty good actors, we think. Then we had Damien, and I think kind of if Connor ever struggled with acting or anything, we were there to help him, all three of us, if he ever needed it. So we got his help in production. So I feel like we all bounce off each other pretty well. I feel like me and Jacob have chemistry, on stage chemistry. Me and Connor Thompson, I feel like we developed some on stage chemistry as time went on. So I feel like this is one of the better groups I could have ended up with, I think.
So leading on from that,
Hmm.
if there was a person you could change around, or people, cast,
Yeah.
if you could make cast changes, who would be and why? Do you think that?
I'm not sure if I'd want to make any cast changes. Maybe Damien, switch him for a different companion, like maybe a female. I remember earlier today Jacob was saying he would have liked to have a female companion because the doctor that he was basing it on only had female companions, David Tennant.
Uh-huh.
So I can see that help benefiting Jacob in terms of getting into character. Damien wasn't the worst person who we could have had though, so I'm like I said, I'm not upset about the group I had. I'm very happy with it.
Do you think the parameters you set for yourself were
The parameters that got set by the
the parameters that got set by the thingy?
So, well, I think it definitely influenced the outcome because the piece would have been longer probably if we didn't have those parameters. The piece would have kind of like if it didn't have to be collaborative, I probably wouldn't have done a collaborative thing with anyone. Maybe it's like the parameters definitely influenced. I feel like it influenced everyone's Fringe piece because
So like the time frame influence the right. So let's go over to production now. What were there any like technical or logistical issues?
Yes. So Connor Thompson, he built the base of the TARDIS and then someone had broke it over the weekend or something.
Yeah.
So we had to repair that. Unfortunately, that set us back a bit, and then we didn't end up getting the TARDIS done until the night of the performance, I think actually.
Yeah.
And it looked great, luckily. But had that not have happened, we would have had it done earlier, and then we also would have been able to make it look better. And then, as I said, the thing on stage of the thing breaking off, that might not have happened, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, logistical issues.
That's about
Like-
it as far as.
Moving
I was
the
just gonna say,
yeah.
the curtain thing, with the pulling the curtain, and then push it. Look, the TARDIS was really well built, so when we were pushing it out and in, it wasn't
much of a
it wasn't hard at all because it had wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an issue. The only issue was probably how many times we switched from an in and out of the TARDIS. I would have changed that probably.
So, did you have enough time to design or make or source your props or costume set?
I feel like we did. I feel like we get given the allotted time, and you've just got to work with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, who wouldn't want more time, right? I think that would be great. But fact is, the time we were given, you've got to work with that and source your props within that time. So, given enough time, no. But what is enough time? You know, like
True.
you never get enough time for anything. So, I mean, at that point, it's up to us as a group to look at our time and schedule it wisely between doing production and acting. And I feel like we successfully did that.
Okay, let's just scroll down a bit.
The final piece.
Right. So, the final piece. Discuss the outcome in
Let's do this one at a time. So.
in terms of effectiveness.
So,
How effective was your piece? As a bit of stage performance, how?
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well.
Yeah.
So I think it was a fairly well done stage performance. It was it was technically pretty well done, I think. It was acted very well, I think. You could tell it was a Doctor Who piece.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to avoid making it a spoof and more of a direct, we love this, we want to make this, but on a stage.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were effective in that because...
More of a fun adaptation than a spoof.
Than a spoof, yeah. And I feel like that was... So I feel like it was decently effective. Like a 6, 7. You know, strong 6 to light 7.
So technical qualities, did you think you could have improved that?